junior heavyweight title. First, from Philadelphia, weighing in at 165 pounds. Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Wylde. The challenger, also from Philadelphia, weighing in at 187 pounds, Drew Blood.
Contrast in style. Drew Blood, I think, is a lot happier keeping the match on the mat, close to the mat. Chris Wylde, he takes to the air like nobody's business. Should be very interesting contrast.
Drew Blood, of all the light heavyweights, definitely. He likes to keep it on the ground. He doesn't like to do all the flips and stuff. He's more of the technical athlete.
I'll tell you what, he's very, very solid in there. You got to work really hard to find an opening to find a flaw in Drew Blood.
Exactly, but Chris Wylde's not lightweight champion for no reason. He defeated 3 men in 1 match to win that light heavyweight championship. Chris Wylde will definitely be put to the test. Drew Blood, hungry for the light heavyweight championship. Saban, I know your eyes are on this match.
Chris Wylde beat. He didn't beat 3 men, he beat 1 man. He didn't beat me. Now comes to the man that Chris Wylde wins to become the new ACPW Junior Heavyweight Champion.
What is Drew doing out here?
Once again, not on the format sheet.
You can never predict what's going to happen.
For those of you who don't know who I am, I am the Diamond Icon, Jude. Now the fact of the matter is this, Mr. Chris Wylde. The only thing wild about you is your 1985 leather jacket, alright, buddy? You're ducking me, okay? You are ducking me. You know that title is as good as around my waist if you get in the ring one-on-one with me, okay? I had you in a 6-man tag, alright? I had you in a 4-man cluster crap, alright? You and me one-on-one. Listen, you shut up before I get out there and I smack you in your mouth. Oh, that was you, Drew? Oh, man. Come on, I thought we were cool. Alright. I don't have nothing against little guys, but I have something against him right here. The fact of the matter is this. Tonight, I don't care if it's you, Drew. I don't care if it's Chris. I want a shot next week. Or 2 weeks. A month. The next time we're in this building, I want a shot for the title. And what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to sit here ringside and I'm going to watch you get your throat by Drew Blood. You shut your mouth before I come out there and I smack you.
I love to see it, Charlie! Stop! I love it!
Well, we have more controversy with ACPW.
Jude picking fights with Devin Moore, picking fights with Drew Blood, and of course, laying down the challenge for Chris Wylde. If he can even get past Drew Blood this week, Drew should not be taken lightly.
I lost the title last show, but you gotta respect Drew for coming out here and taking charge of things. You gotta respect it.
Absolutely. Jude, the diamond icon, the diamond in the rough, if you will. The fans are deafening here, solidly behind the full release Chris Wylde. Chris Wylde, your light heavyweight champion. And you're right, you gotta give credit where credit is due. Jude taking the pinfall in the match, not even in action this week, and still comes out here and lays down the challenge for the winner of this contest for September 18th.
Right off the bat, Drew Blood the veteran is playing mind games with Chris Wylde. Or at least he's trying.
Here we go. Lock up into a waistlock by Drew. Into a side headlock.
I'll tell you right now, Drew Blood is going to take him to the mat and take him to squeeze. Drew Blood is the man when it comes to mat wrestling.
Drew Blood, as we noted earlier, one of the few lightweights, likes to keep it on the ground. He likes to ground his opponent. Chris Wylde goes around the world on him. Right into a hip toss. Drew Blood taking a walk. Chris Wylde getting the better of him. Drew Blood regrouping to the outside. Drew Blood with the opportunity of a lifetime. The light heavyweight division is filled with up-and-comers with Aramis, KJ Hellfire, and Art Chappell. It's filled with guys that are just inches away from winning that title at any moment. With himself, Drew Blood, Sabian, right here, Devin Moore, Jude, who came out and issued the challenge. The lightweight division is hot, and Chris Wylde sits atop. Chris Wylde will be looking for his version of the Twisted Fate, which he calls the climax. It won him the light heavyweight title, and he's looking for it to win him the match today against Drew Blood. Drew Blood, on the other hand, will be looking for the muff driver and his very patented teabag. Arm drag takeover by Chris Wylde. Back to the outside goes Drew Blood.
And it looks like Drew Blood was taking Chris Wylde a little lightly because Chris Wylde is putting his tape through, showing why he is the current junior heavyweight champion.
Exactly. You can't take anybody lightly in any match. We saw little Nicky Skittles upset Mark Smart earlier when Mark Smart took him lightly. So you can never take anybody too lightly. Drew Blood.
Drew Blood wants to test his strength right now.
Opting to try to see who's stronger.
Drew is playing it smart and is trying to slow down Chris Wylde. He wants this match to proceed at his pace and not Chris Wylde's pace.
The champion would be wise to keep it at his pace, though. Make the challenger wrestle his game. But at the same time, that's what the challenger wants. The challenger wants the champion to wrestle his game. It's such a ring battle of ring psychology and ring minds. Who can get the one-up? Hard chop by Drew Blood.
That might be enough for Chris Wylde to start growing hair on his chest after that shot.
Drew Blood with a standing vertical suplex, letting the blood rush to the head.
Textbook vertical suplex. See, I'm not usually the type to come up here and praise anybody but myself, but right now Drew Blood is taking it to Chris Wylde.
Drew Blood is taking it to Chris Wylde. You have to respect the talents of every individual, not just in the lightweight division, but in any division in general. Every time you step in the ring, you put your life on the line. Drew Blood is a competitor. Drew Blood trying to win championships, trying to win the light heavyweight title. Back elbow a moment ago by Drew. Drew with a snapmare.
He's going to kick him right in the back.
Drew Blood does. That's why Drew Blood has all the tools upstairs. I believe that Drew Blood could walk away as your new light heavyweight champion when this one's all said and done. Just like you were talking earlier about the hybrid. Okay, so he doesn't high fly too much, but he's not a stranger. He will take to the sky if he has to. Chris Wylde fighting up, just pull it back down by the hair.
Yeah, little shortcuts, sign of experience. He knows what to do and when to do it in that ring.
Drew Blood sliding a chair in the ring. Unnecessary. He does not have to do that. Drew Blood
standing by for this. I don't know why.
I guess they let things go here in ACPW. Drew Blood threatening to hit him with a steel chair. Outsmarting the crowd once again.
Games with the crowd.
Exactly, but if he's not careful, Chris Wylde will take it to him.
He's trying to teach a lesson. He's trying to showboat a little bit. Okay, but
too much showboating will cost him, Donnie Al. If he showboats too much, Chris Wylde will show him why he is the light heavyweight champion. As now he once again firing up with elbows, bounces off the ropes. Drew Blood takes his head off with that clothesline. That hurt the arm of Drew Blood. He clotheslined him out of his socks.
Drew Blood and Drew working together a little bit.
Forearm in the corner by Drew. Big chop.
you can see echoes of a lot of great wrestlers of the past from Drew Blood. You see a little Ric Flair, that lariat, that was right out of Stan Hansen's split.
Drew Blood, no stranger to the game. He's a student of the game. He definitely goes home and studies. He is a student. He soaks up all the knowledge, which is why he is the #1 contender here for Chris Wylde's lightweight championship. Chris Wylde reverses the Irish whip. Big flying forearm. Chris Wylde charges in, but this time gets cut off with a back elbow. Drew to the top. Went for a reverse Hurricane Rana there.
I can snap your neck in two.
Look at innovative moves all the time here by the light heavyweights.
Look like Chris Wylde. Chris Wylde had Drew Blood up on his shoulders. Look like Chris Wylde was trying to drop Drew Blood down, but the experience took him off his feet, and now he's back on top.
Exactly that. Plus Chris Wylde has been worked on. He's a little woozy. He's daisy. He didn't have it all there when he tried to counter that. Senton splash missed by Drew Blood. Chris Wylde had enough sense of mind to roll out of the way, off the ropes. Spinning neck breaker by Chris Wylde. Chris Wylde's a house of fire. The cover, the count. 2 and oh!
There's that slow count again.
Chris Wylde.
House of fire. The crowd is strongly behind him right now.
To the top. Diving headbutt. That could be enough to put him out, but Jude pulled the ref to the outside. Now, ref going back inside the cover. 1, 2. Oh, that slight distraction by Jude was just enough for Drew Blood to kick out.
I almost forgot Jude was at ringside. He'd been pretty quiet up till now, but very suddenly he's working his way into this match.
Jude picking his spots. Chris Wylde still on top. Big snap suplex takes him over. Holds on. Rolls through. Here comes another south. Nails him with another one. Cover 1, 2 after the float over. No. The fans are on their feet. A little hard to see the action, but it's not hard to see Chris Wylde taking it to Drew Blood and really giving him what he deserves. Waistlock attempt by Chris Wylde. Drew Blood holds on to the referee and low blows Chris Wylde.
That's the old Dusty Rhodes mule kick right there.
Drew Blood, just like that, back in control. Chop to the back. Whips Chris Wylde off. Reversal by Chris Wylde. Big boot and a low blow. Oh, muff driver. Just a 2 count.
Chris Wylde just kicked out of Drew Blood's face.
Drew Blood with a modified version of the muff driver. Only got a 2 count, but that's going to soften up the neck. Soften up the neck for the teabag. Drew Blood's patented finishing maneuver. If he hits the teabag, it could be all over.
That move driver has put a lot of people away.
It sure has. Chris Wylde, though, takes to the advantage, crotching Drew Blood on the top. Chris Wylde, he's upstairs, Chris. You gotta go get him. Chris Wylde, springboard, bulldog.
The fatigue of this match took its toll on Drew Blood because he couldn't get up to the top quick enough to avoid that crotching.
1, 2, oh!
And a patented carrot top slow 3.
Yeah. Chris Wylde should still be your champion. Drew Blood still has a little bit of fight left in him. Breaks that. Chop, chop, chop. It's a chop fest. They're exchanging blows. Clothesline attempt ducked by Drew. Oh!
They both connected to the jaw.
It looked like he got caught, Chris Wylde did, with a right hand from Drew. Looked like Chris Wylde went for a drop kick and caught him in the back of the head. Both men are down. The 10 count's being applied. It's anybody's game here. The lightweight title teetering in the balance between 2 gifted athletes. Block attempt, waist lock, German suplex by Chris Wylde.
Another German suplex. With a bridge.
1, 2, no!
Sound like the last minute.
I thought that one was over, guys.
Drew Blood is one tough hombre.
Action-packed junior heavyweight title match. Chris Wylde back on top.
Drew Blood holds on. Drop kick by Chris Wylde was blocked. Drew Blood.
He's going for the muff driver again.
No, this time Chris Wylde slips out the back door, turns around, kick. He hit the climax. It's over. He hit the climax. He's been looking for that. He's got to cover him. He's got to cover him. Here it is. 1, 2. Champion retains. No! Jude pulls the referee out. Chris Wylde, the full release. Hit the climax. Drew Blood not getting up. Jude intervening. Jude takes a right hand for his efforts. Chris Wylde needs to turn around because Drew nails him from behind. Belly to back attempt. Chris Wylde lands on his feet. German suplex attempt blocked. Drew fighting for all he's got. Blocks the attempt. Reverse into Jude. Jude with that championship belt in the face of Drew Blood. 2. It's over. Chris Wylde retains the match. Jude's interference backfired.
Junior heavyweight champion, Chris Wylde.
Great effort by both men. But Drew Blood tried a shortcut.
Jude, for the past 3 months, you've tried to get in the way of me proving myself to all these great people. In the back, you complained about having to come out in front of each and all these people. You try to take my title, but you're gonna steal it? Just come on. I won that belt. You want a match? You got it. Hell, we can do it right here in front of all these fans. What do you say?
We'll wait until next month. I don't have my gear on. I have barely sneakers on.
I can't hear what he's saying, but it looks like he's making some excuses to me.
Climax on Jude. Jude and Chris Wylde exchanged words. Chris Wylde saying, if you want a shot, all you gotta do is ask.